Catalonia's former president demands a legal amnesty for all separatists if Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez wants his support to form a government.
At least 5 people are dead and 3 are still missing as Spain sees its worst torrential flooding in years. A museum exhibition in Dortmund called "This is Colonialism" has been caught up in what the internet describes as a racism scandal.
Carles Puigdemont is demanding an amnesty. The former president of Catalonia in Spain wants an end to all legal proceedings against Catalan separatists as a precondition to supporting current Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's bid to form a government. Puigdemont, who fled to Belgium in 2017 after an illegal referendum, has also asked for the recognition and respect for the legitimacy of the independence movement.
L'1 d'octubre no va ser un delicte, com tampoc no ho va ser la declaració d'independència, ni les protestes massives contra la repressió i la sentència del Tribunal Suprem. L'abandonament de la repressió a l'independentisme democràtic és una exigència ètica i ha de ser un abandonament permanent.
The wish list made by the former Catalan leader comes after Spain's snap elections in July ended in a political stalemate. Despite winning the elections, the Conservative candidate Alberto Núñez Feijóo does not have the numbers to form a majority government, which has opened the doors for another left-wing coalition. Pedro Sánchez needs Puigdemont's help in order to form a government.
Són condicions prèvies que s'han de poder complir abans no s'esgoti el termini legal per evitar noves eleccions. I que si es donen, naturalment ens comprometen i ens obliguen a treballar per un compromís històric que resolgui el conflicte en la propera legislatura. Només depenen de la voluntat política.
A first symbolic move came this Monday when Spain's Deputy Prime Minister Yolanda Díaz met with Puigdemont in Brussels, despite not having the approval of Pedro Sánchez. It's the first time that a representative of the Spanish government meets with the former Catalan leader in 6 years.
The effects of the worst Dana in years in Spain will be felt for a long time to come. The floods caused by torrential rains that accompanied this meteorological phenomenon have left 5 dead and 3 missing. Entire localities have been devastated, leaving residents in shock.
Sentimos correr el agua y bajamos a ver cómo venía el río y en ese momento cayó el puente, salimos todos corriendo, bueno, nos retiramos un poco, al rato cayó el otro puente, un estruendo enorme. Bueno, fue un momento de pánico.
The same panic was experienced on Saturday by the residents of Buenache del Alcón in Castilla-La Mancha. A river of water and mud swept through the town, causing severe damage to dozens of homes.
No quedan más que el piso y las paredes, todo lo demás para tirar.
Ahora mismo fatal. Con la casa llena de agua, todavía, sin luz, sin agua, sin teléfono móvil, incomunicados.
There are numerous road closures and disruptions to rail traffic. The material damage is substantial, although there are no estimates so far.
Players from the Spanish men's national football team have condemned the behaviour of Federation President Luis Rubiales as unacceptable. At their training session ahead of upcoming Euro 2024 qualifiers against Georgia and Cyprus, the team's captain read out a statement.
Queremos rechazar lo que consideramos unos comportamientos inaceptables por parte del señor Rubiales, que no ha estado a la altura de la institución que representa. Nos situamos de manera firme y clara del lado de los valores que representa el deporte. El fútbol español debe ser motor de respeto, inspiración, igualdad y diversidad. Debe dar un ejemplo en sus conductas, tanto dentro como fuera del campo.
Federation President Rubiales has been condemned widely across the game for kissing Spanish forward Jenny Hermoso without her consent. FIFA has suspended him for 90 days, but Rubiales has repeatedly refused to resign over the kiss. There have been rallies in support of the player Jenny Hermoso. The latest was in Barcelona, with protesters flying purple flags representing the feminist movement in Spain.
The number of people killed or wounded by cluster bombs has hit a new peak, mainly due to their use in Ukraine. A report from the group The Cluster Munition Monitor says there were over 1,000 casualties across 8 countries in 2022, the highest figure recorded by the organization since 2010. By far the greatest number occurred in Ukraine, with 890 casualties registered. The next worst affected were Syria with 84 and Myanmar with 13. Cluster bombs are munitions that explode in mid-air, showering smaller explosives over a wide area. They can have devastating impact on civilians. They represented 95% of all cluster casualties in 2022. The report says Russia has used cluster munitions repeatedly in Ukraine since February 2022. Ukraine has also begun using them since its counter-offensive.
In France, around 300 students showed up for the first day of the school year wearing the abaya, despite the introduction of a ban by Education Minister Gabriel Attal last week. The abaya is a long garment worn by women, the religious nature of which has long been the subject of debate. Some students seemed untroubled by the row.
C'est une robe classique, c'est une robe que toutes les filles portent, les non-voilées comme les voilées. Et donc, c'est un petit peu un problème, mais après, on est obligé de s'adapter. Hein.
C'est devenu une mode du Moyen-Orient, en fait. C'est tout. Une abaya, c'est un vêtement qui se considère qu'en fait, quand on porte ça, on se considère comme une princesse un peu, comme les femmes du Moyen-Orient. Donc, franchement, c'est même pas un vêtement religieux.
Je trouve que c'est une tenue comme une autre, on peut mettre une robe longue, bah voilà. Enfin, je veux dire, voilà, moi ça me dérange pas et je pense qu'il y a plein de gens à qui ça les dérange pas et voilà.
In Lyon, the authorities say there's a need for students and parents to understand the meaning of the ban.
S'agissant de l'Académie de Lyon, déjà au mois de juin, il y avait eu un travail engagé, notamment un travail d'information auprès des familles pour rappeler le cadre laïque de l'école et ce qu'il impliquait, notamment en matière de signes ostensibles.
French President Emmanuel Macron has defended the ban on Monday. He said those who defy the secularism that characterises France are a minority.
In Warsaw, pupils are catching the bus at the start of a second school year away from their homes in Ukraine. There are more than 170,000 Ukrainian children at schools in Poland. Some have enrolled in local Polish schools, while others attend Ukrainian schools established in Poland.
Ще складнішим для нас був цей перехід від безкоштовної форми навчання до платної, тому що нам довелося це зробити через те, що об'єм допомоги від міжнародних донорів зменшився. Допомога українським біженцям за кордоном трошечки зменшується, я б сказала, але це не погано, тому що збільшується кількість допомоги всередині України.
Приватні, всі державні.
Students appreciate education in Ukrainian and the homely atmosphere the school has managed to create.
Ми були і тут, і виїжджали в Україну, але намагалися підтримувати контакт з нашими однокласниками. Зараз перший день трошки складно, все-таки 11 клас, але відносно щасливі, що нарешті знаходимося в дуже теплій компанії, де один одного всі підтримують.
Це наша місія – працювати з українськими дітками, з молодим поколінням, яке виросте і повернеться в Україну, щоб відбудовувати цю країну.
However, Polish schools seem to be more challenging for Ukrainian refugees, and while many have found their way in, there are children who still need a lot of support and attention.
The stress of displacement, of trauma, the uncertainty of that affects parents and also children. And so children reported to us the feeling that they had lost the whole world. This was a phrase that came up in our study, and this made it harder for them to focus, to adjust, and to succeed in Polish schools. There are specific challenges and barriers still that Ukrainian children face. So, for example, the language barrier is one that was mentioned to us that prevents children from being accepted and being included.
As noted by the UN, only less than half of Ukrainian children have been enrolled in schools in Poland. Therefore, the UN appealed to their parents to enroll their children in the offline education system, as schools are not only about learning, but also about socialization and mental well-being. Magdalena Hodownik for Euronews from Warsaw.
Hundreds of Moroccans gathered outside the parliament in Rabat to denounce the shooting dead of 2 holidaymakers by the Algerian Coast Guard last Tuesday. The pair had been jet skiing in Moroccan waters when they strayed across the maritime border between the 2 Mediterranean countries. The demonstrators accused the government in Rabat of not doing enough to challenge the Algerian authorities. The Algerian Defense Ministry claims the tourists had defied an order to stop several times. Police officers are gathered in front of the Zecke Zoller Museum in Dortmund, the focus of what social media networks are describing as a racism scandal. The blame lies with the exhibition This is Colonialism and the museum's decision to ban whites from entering a small section and then only for a few hours. The museum claims the objective is not discrimination.
Da hier eine Betroffenengruppe ist einfach die Bitte, dass die Betroffenen auch für sich sein können und mal unter sich sprechen können. Und das ist der Ansatz. Das heißt, ein Thema für sich, mit sich zu besprechen und dann einfach mal frei zu sein von anderen Thesen.
The exhibition, which explores Westphalia's colonial past, has been open to the public for months. However, the scandal broke out a few days ago after a video was released in which a white journalist from a radio station was not allowed to enter.